Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Riles YouTube, where today I'm going to give you my theory on the existence of alternate realities. Consider that what I see as red, you may see as orange. If different people see different colors than another, then it can be possible for an alternate reality to exist. In the 1920s, the Copenhagen interpretation concluded that any physical object is in a constant state of change until someone observes it. Therefore, it is always existing in another reality, and so you bring it to yours. This interpretation is still widely used today. Even when you send light through a metal slate with double slits, regardless of whether you send it in photon form or normally, it still paints the opposite screen in a pattern only a wave can make. It is existing in two states at the same time. Now picture this, because there is even more evidence than that. I will also provide my own observations. One such is my own memory of researching the previously mentioned experiment before and finding that electrons were shot through the double slits, not light. Now I can only find articles saying it was light, not electrons. How many realities have we already traveled? How different is the world around you now since it was yesterday, or even a few hours ago? Let's delve deep. 2012, the year the Mayan calendar predicted the world to end. Let me take you on a journey to the Statue of Liberty. Inside, the torch is a balcony overlooking the water and even over Lady Liberty's crown. There is evidence of visitor access existing before 2012. This is known as the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect is a type of false memory that occurs when many different people incorrectly remember the same thing. It refers to a widespread false memory that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. The fact that this many people can remember the same thing when it is now so vastly different is remarkable. Ring ring, let's play telephone. I'll whisper a message in your ear and you whisper it into the next person's ear, and eventually it'll be something completely different. How about we take it a step further and look at how posts on social media can spiral in a completely new and unexpected direction as different people share and repost and share new opinions, ideas, and perspectives. This is exactly like how every time you remember something, you're remembering it completely different. This is because what you're remembering is not the event itself, but the last time you remembered it. Think back to that 8th birthday party when your aunt smashed strawberry cake in your face. Wait, your favorite cake when you were a kid was chocolate, and your aunt always tells you it was chocolate cake, not strawberry. That didn't happen to you? No, me neither. But this effect can be taken even a step further when you put into play the misinformation effect, which can cause eyewitness misidentification in the courtroom. The misinformation effect refers to a type of memory impairment caused by the introduction of misleading information. The eyewitness misidentification is the leading cause of wrongful convictions. If someone can see a crime happening right in front of them, see a person so clearly, and describe them to police and on the witness stand afterward, how can they get it wrong even 4 to 6% of the time? My thoughts? Alternate realities. Research shows that simply based on our physical ability alone, we will perceive the world differently. People wearing heavy backpacks see steeper hills in front of them than those without backpacks. Even your mental state can affect your success. In one experiment, managers were put to the test by counting their own heart rate. The ones who were more accurate were more successful than the ones who were confident they were accurate even when they were wrong, were less successful, and had more anxiety. Our feelings can affect our views and beliefs, and where do we gain these? From the people around us. But if those people were from other realities, then wouldn't these perceptions all be so different? Take Schrodinger's cat, for example. If you put a cat in a box behind a wall blocking poisoned cat food, and then set the wall to open when a radioactive atom decays, the cat will finally eat it and die. So here he poses the ultimate question. While the box is closed, is the cat alive or dead? Because an atom decays with a half-life pattern, it means there will always be one half still alive. But it has to decay eventually, so it can neither be alive nor dead, right? How can this be? Let me tell you something about photons, electrons, and particles, my friend. When you observe light passing through the slits, they appear on the screen as particles, and when you do not observe them, they appear as a wave. This must mean that they exist in two states at once and appear on the screen for multiple realities at once. Which reality is up to your observation? If electrons themselves can do that, can people, who are themselves made up of atoms and electrons, do this? This is actually possible and known as quantum tunneling. Imagine a ball rolling into a valley. It must go down one hill, then up and over another, but the probability for it to pass straight through the second hill is not zero. If the energy of the hill will cause the energy of the ball to decay, the energy of the ball does then have a small chance of passing through if its energy does not fall below zero. An experiment in 1993 shows this happening when a special piece of glass that reflected 99% of photons allowed scientists to observe the photons that were blocked by the glass arriving on the screen earlier than the ones that were not impeded. That meant that they had either traveled faster than light or right through the physical glass itself. Light can't travel faster than itself, so the latter must be true. If light can pass through with these results, who's to say there's not another reality they enter first, with a shorter distance, or no barrier at all? If so, then so can a person. If there's so much physical proof of a person being able to travel to an alternate reality, where's the proof of an alternate reality themselves? Let me paint a picture. In 2006, NASA posted photos on their government website of the cosmic microwave background radiation, a map of our universe. In each new photo, each new year, you can see a black mass expanding. The radiation is moving away from itself. The mass expands billions of light years across, and it formed in just a few short years. Light traveling billions of light years in just a few, faster than light speed. But like I said, light can't travel faster than itself, so the only way this could be possible is if another object is pressing into our universe. The universe is likely to be bubble or spear shaped as it originated from a big bang and explosion. This suggestion matches with these black shapes in the map of the universe, which is curved and round. Currently, scientists are discussing the possibility of our universe existing inside of a black hole, which to me would mean that black holes could be the tunnel to the existing branches of timelines or other realities. As one of my favorite characters in anime, Kyubey in Puella Magi Madoka Magica explains, entropy can be like when you add sugar to coffee. The sugar will rapidly sink and expand into the hot liquid until eventually it dissolves away. When entropy increases, internal energy will rise as well. If it isn't harnessed somehow, that thermal energy gets dispersed. That's exactly what happens to the sugar. Universes expand, and now they're expanding into each other. Some may have merged, some may have ended. The survivors transferred to the reality we currently occupy. Survivors from all over. Remember when I mentioned the Mandela effect? I have something even more creepy. When I was very young, I vividly remember breaking my leg. We went to the hospital, I saw x rays. I even remember the doctor saying clearly there's a fracture in this bone here and pointing at the x ray. I remember in detail showing the hairline crack in my bone. I remember wearing a cast after that too. But everyone who was present in this memory says it never happened. If you look around the internet, there are accounts of people who have woken up and have completely different memories of the life they've woken into. I've even heard some of these reports on the radio. These are so very different from reports of the Mandela effect, where everyone remembers the same thing. It's like the inverse, where only one person remembers a reality they came from. Religion describes the spiritual realm much differently from anything we know, but yet much the same. In the book of Revelation, the seven seals and the angel's trumpets are written over and over and over again, described slightly differently, leading me to believe it's the Bible's way of telling us that there are multiple realities for Jesus to return to. Proof of the spiritual realm's existence can be traced back to many instances of ghost encounters. Science says there's no way to truly determine this, but this seems to be the case with quantum physics too, where they're constantly contradicting themselves but still come to a conclusion anyway. So we can see all of these things with our own eyes. We have faith it's true. We read the evidence of these truths and come up with our own determinations. My conclusion is that it's easy to ignore coincidence when it's right in front of you, when the probability of coincidence is so high that it will constantly happen. Now, according to many sources and discussions online, Douglas Adams was famous for critiquing Isaac Asimov's view that if time travel existed, then it has always existed. Well, time travelers would be good at hiding it, and I'm sure that there would be future laws to prevent exposure, but disregarding speculation, there are famous examples of possible time travel. One such is the Babushka lady, who is known for being present at the JFK assassination, and many theorize that she's a time traveler because the camera she's holding looked like it did not exist at the time. Time travel can also affect reality, more importantly, the people traveling to the alternate realities via time travel. One possible case of this is known as the man from Torrid. The story goes a man arrived at a Japanese airport in 1954 using a passport from a country that did not exist. He showed them on the map, but pointed to a country that was labeled differently, and he grew increasingly angry when they did not believe him. They called the hotel he said he'd booked for his business conference. They said there was a conference with that business, but no man by that name. So the authorities put him up in a different hotel on the upper floor with no fire escape and posted 2 guards all night while they locked his documents away at the airport and opened an investigation. The next morning, both the man and his belongings from the hotel room and the airport security room were gone, and no one saw a thing. A multidimensional traveler? All the evidence points to yes. There is a cover story, of course, but with all the scientific evidence so far, can you deny this?
Link start!
The internet is considered widely by some to be a virtual world. This seems to imply an alternate reality, so let's explore that idea. Many people will point out that the internet does not take up space in our world, and yet we've managed to store vast amounts of data on it. Would this space then be some sort of alternate reality? Right now we cannot reach it, and to be honest, we can't reach any. So instead we look to the future and to science fiction, such as Sword Art Online, an almost too near perfect depiction of what true virtual reality could look like. I have some ideas for how virtual reality could work, but my point is that while the internet is still up for seemingly no discussion from actual experts, this is entirely possible. In like 50 to 200 years with our current technology, people's memories shift from one to the other, always seeming the same but usually changing. Physical objects are indeterminate when not being observed, and small particles can exist in 2 states and 2 places at once. There's always that small chance that because of this, a person can travel to an alternate reality. The existence of these alternate realities proven by pictures and real-world observations. Ways it can happen provided by spiritual paths or paths through time or even by random probability and observation. People who have even experienced these phenomenon that have come forward with their stories. My very own memories of such things, and now that you're aware, I'm sure you'll start to notice too. It all comes down to what the transitioning to alternate realities and the merging or destruction of them will bring in the end. One final reality, the merging of all of them, the transition to the spiritual plane to discover yet a new one. Who knows? But the proof is in the pudding. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like to help boost the channel, and subscribe if you want to see more. Leave your comment to let me know what you think of this video and what else you would like to see. Bye!